Hello and thank you once again for joining us. Today we're back at the lofts of Peter and Joby Martin, P&J Martin Tab, No Mercy Loss. Peter, thank you for having us back.
Good to have you back again. Thanks for coming and thanks for all the help.
Today Peter's going to explain to us how the bulb system works. There's been people contacting us, will we do a video on this, will we do a video on that. People have asked, can we do a video on the bulb system. Peter has one of the best setups here, Peter and Joby, and so we're back here and Peter's going to go through it with us. So I'm going to get out of your road and let Peter talk.
You give me all the good jobs, Mick. And look at that, not even a sweaty armpit today. But this is something that I've been doing for about 15-18 years. There are many variations on the bulb system, but with the way we have worked it and narrowed it down to what suits us best, other people can do it their own way. But I built these pens a lot of years ago. I used to have another set that were halfway up here that come from John Boyd's old loft. But I built these a lot of years back to make it more simple. I like the height, especially when you have some of the older cocks on the bull, because the lifting from the floor up, because they're going vertical, keeps them fit, keeps them healthy and keeps them in trim. You can see the setup, very simple. Drinker, grit feeder and corn feeder. The cock will stand here for a couple of days on his own, maybe up to a week, until I see him spin at me when I come in, or he starts to show me a reaction when I come in. That's when I know they have settled to the box. They want to dominate this, they won't let anybody else in it. So the cock has his box, he'll stand there for anything up to a week. We then start introducing hens. You get the first hen for about a half an hour, then she's taken out, she's basketed, and we leave them for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. We do this the first 2 days just to get the cocks used to the idea of running with 2 hens. We've tried it with 3. I don't have the time to do it with 3. Other people that have time can certainly do it with 3 pigeons, 4 pigeons, as many as you want, but for us in our system and the way we work, this for me is the handiest way of doing it. So he'll get his first hen for about a half an hour, she's taken out, he'll stand on his own for an hour and a half, 2 hours, he'll then get the fresh hen. And we'll do that for the first 2 days, and once he's settled and tramping the 2 hens, then we start them on the actual bull itself. And the way it works is, he'll get 1 hen for a couple of hours in the morning. About lunchtime that hen will be removed. The other hen at that stage can go straight into him. What he'll do is he'll tramp both hens, from a minute or 2 of them get in. And we let him run like that basically until the hens lay. But the most important days for the hen and the cock are days 5, 6 and 7. As long as he tramps her a couple of times them 5, 6 and 7 days, then he doesn't even need to tramp her between the first and second eggs, because she's already been inseminated and she's already fertile. So even if he never got her after the first egg, she will still lay a fertile second egg. So the pigeons will run there. It takes on an average maybe between 10 to 14 days for hens. Some hens are different, some are slower, some are faster. But the 2 hens will run with him until they're starting to stand over the bowl and I know they're getting eggy. Right, well basically he's running his 2 hens. 1 hen out free with him. She'll stand in the top box with him. The second hen is in this box. This is just pure laziness on my behalf. I used to have a set of boxes on the wall there that I kept all the bull hens and all the second hens in. It's just from moving them out of there and moving into here and catching them. And I found, just purely for convenience and speed, I built these little boxes below. Usually they're completely closed off, the hen can't see out. But I would have a second bowl in there, and the bottom of that's a wire grill. I don't know if you can see it. I cover that in straw and I put a bowl in with straw in it as well. When she's starting to stand up there, when I move her into here, she'll stand over that bowl. So the 2 hens must be separate, so when they lay, you can mark the eggs A and B. And basically this pen here would be 2A, 2B. He'll run the hen for the length of time I said. Both hens will lay within the space of about 12 days. That gives you 4 eggs off your cock. The minute those hens have laid, they're removed, they're put in the aviaries for a month. We don't bring them back and force them to lay again, they're left for a month. At that stage, after the 12-13 days, we bring in 2 fresh hens. The lad knows what the game is at this stage, so he'll start immediately to pair to them 2 hens and start tramping them. And the fact that the hens have come in from the aviary, they're keen as mustard. The second set of hens I found will lay in about 10 days. Space of about 22 days, you have 8 eggs off the one cock. Now what we do here, if we have a new bull cock that we're trying out, like this boy here that I'm with at the minute, he's a new pigeon on the bull, so he will get proven hens this year to make sure that he's capable of breeding. If his young'uns with the proven hens don't match in, he's no good for the bull and he's no good for me, so I'll move him out. The quickest, easiest and most convenient way to find a good stock hen or a good stock cock is to bull them, because in 1 year you can do anything up to 10 years work with one pigeon. How long would it take you to take 4 or 6 young'uns off one pair of pigeons? There's a whole season's work. Well, we're here in 22 days I can have a cock tested over 8 hens and put the young'uns out. They're all, if you're into line breeding, inbreeding, or if you have a good line of pigeons, you've already set up the basis of your stock, love, because you have half brothers, half sisters, and you use your best and rotate them round. That's the way we do it. It's very simple, very convenient, and basically these pens here would be enough to fill my own young bird loft for the season. Never have we bred of another pigeon, we use them here. I always have about 4 hens running for every cock, and with a new one we like to try as many different hens over them as possible in the 1 year, so that we're getting a reading. Is this cock good enough to stay on the bull, or is he going to be on it all his days, or are he going to be on it 1 year? So very simple, very straightforward. As I said, you can see it here. These pens are 1 metre square, just your little stand for the drinker, the feeders, and the hen and cock in here. There she is standing over the bowl. Now that hen will lay in the next few days. At the moment, with this first round, we're just letting the cocks run with one hen at the minute. As soon as these hens, now this pair have laid and that pair have laid, in the next day or two they will be slipped out. Another thing that with the eggs, because we slip her out, we stagger out the mating of our widow-hood pigeons, basically a week, 10 days apart on each section. But that means I can take all the first round from here, move them under one set of widow-hood pigeons. The second set of hens, that would be hen C and hen D, come in, so they are slipped under the second widow-hood loft that's paired up. That way your widow-hood pigeons or your racers are rearing the young of your stock, and the next set is rearing the next set of your stock or your bull. So very quickly you can fill the loft out. Now when it gets till about hen 5 and 6, we're at that stage where we may end up using some of our young stock to slip them out too, because these are all proven. So that's what you want to be working with. Once a year we may bring in a young stock cock, try him on the bull and see how he works out. But as regards the eggs, if I have nothing to catch them, I usually have a biscuit tin sitting there with sawdust on it. I mark the hens, and this one here would be 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, and then they're sitting in basically a biscuit tin until something to catch them. I can get anything up to 10 days with them eggs before they go infertile. For the first 5 or 6 days I just simply turn them once a day. After day 6 I dip them in water and turn them once a day, just to keep the shell moist and stop it from drying out. And you'll go 10 days there before you make it a pair to slip them till, but they will still be fertile and they will still be filled. And that's basically the way we do it. Very straightforward, very simple. For all those that were sent me the PMs of how we do it and what's the best way to go about it, this is the method we have been using for the last 15-18 years, and it's proven very successful for us. People talk about, the likes of the old golden eye cock. How did you get a cock to breed 23 different first prize winners? Well, he made in the 1 year, that cock would have had 10 hens. That's 20 young birds in one season of them. And there were times in the last couple of years that I run that cock right through with 14 or 15 hens, just to keep the line there. But, not hard to do. When you break it down like that if you were a bit like Michael there and had a little leisure time on your hand, you could be out every hour running a hen there. The cock would be rubbing his hands like I was thinking he's God. But there you go. That's just a simple, straightforward way that we do it. This is the way the big studs would do it, only they're running multiple hens and they have someone employed to basically run and change hens all the time. That's how the likes of the big studs can produce so many from the one cock. Right, as I said earlier, the one thing to remember is don't abuse the hens. Once a month laying, and every bull hen we have, we take no more than 3 sets of her, just to keep the hens fresh, because they are like a battery hen. You know, they're only there to lay eggs. We don't let them rear.
Well folks, there you go. It's called Pigeon Info Videos. Hope you got a bit of info out of that. I know I have today. Peter, it's always great to be here. Just one last thing, and maybe you don't want me going on this. I see a bit of speculation on Facebook and stuff that you're sending birds to America now.
Yes.
Tell us a wee bit about it, because people have been asking me, and I don't know, and I don't want to be going back to people and saying, well, I was with Peter and I didn't ask, so it's better coming from the horse's mouth.
It's something basically that's been in the planning for the last 12 months. I got contacted by a fancier in America. I wasn't aware of all the research he had done or how much time and effort he had put into it, but apparently he had been researching buzzard pigeons for about 18 months of around all the fanciers in Britain that had them, and trying to find out people that had the old original lines that hadn't been watered down or hadn't been crossed. So Sid Collins and myself actually ended up sending pigeons to this guy in America, Derek Teal, who races with his father. Father's a very successful racer and has been for years with the old horn line of buzzards, and very few over there have them. So Derek has got himself settled down, shall we say, grew up a few years, and is now thrown his pit into pigeons and give up wine, women and horses and all the rest of it. He doesn't ride horses or back women anymore, so he's gone all right flat into the pigeons, and he has asked me to partner him up. I thought long and hard about it, but when I seen the effort the guy put in and the way he had went about it, and he showed me what he was doing, I thought, well, why not? No one else has done it. We're not making any big claims about our pigeons. I know what they've done here. I want to see what they'll do again, competition in another country, especially the terrain that he set up to race them over. Basically, in a nutshell, there are 8 test lofts set up all around America, right up into Canada, and these guys are going to race 10 birds of ours each for basically a year and see how they go. Our racing here starts in April. Their racing goes right through to the end of November, right up into Canada. So there will be pigeons racing basically week in and week out all through the year that originate from here and Derek's. We're going to put them head to head again, anything that's out there, and see how they cope and see how they go with it. No mad fantastic claims about what they're going to do. We just want to test them and put them out again the best and see how they go. And I believe we're the first to do it. I know we're the first to set it up with test lofts and go all about it. We're not going in with no pre-publicity about what they've done or anything else. It's a team of pigeons from here getting pitted again, a team of numerous teams of pigeons over
That's
there.
Peter Martin's mobile, it just can hear going there.
That's probably heard of to see how I've done the ironing.
Well listen, Peter, the very best, I know on behalf of all the fanciers here in Belfast, we wish us all, yourself and Derek,
Thanks
the
very
very
much.
best of luck.
Yes.
We look forward to hearing how the bird's done over the coming season.
Yes.
I know I'm putting you on a bit of a spot here. And to all the fanciers out there, if you have any questions you want to ask, put them down in a comment. If there's any videos that you'd like me to come out and do a game with Peter, there's no problem, I'll ask him. If he has the time, he'll come and see us, because I hope they'll come back here as he has young'uns coming out and we get a look at them and what have you.
By all means, Mick, I mean, the reason I like doing these type of videos with you, they're not for the fanciers that are out there and winning day in and day out. I have nothing to teach
For
them.
people like
for novice fanciers, are the likes of, you know, the young lad there that I'm texting forward and back at the minute, James Scott over in Leeds. Guys like that would ask you a question, but for me this is a much more informative way of getting the information out, and there are people that mightn't know you and mightn't ask the questions, but they'll pick up something for themselves that they can learn from, and if I can help anybody out that way, I'll help them out. The guys that are winning week in and week out, they don't need to hear me, they have their own systems.
Well, there we go, people. You heard it from Peter himself, and as I said, if you have any questions, any ideas for other videos that you would like us to do, put it down at the bottom there in the comment section, and we'll see what we can do for you, and we'll hope to see you again.
Okay, Michael. Thank you. Let me get into my chores now before she gets in.
See you in the car.